Now at 4, a shooting spree spans 2 counties along I-5. Tonight, more victims are coming forward. At least 4 people shot, another 3 with bullet holes in their cars.
New surveillance video shows what happened before a 13-year-old girl was shot and killed in Alderwood Mall when a fight broke out between a group of teens.
There's a hypodermic needle here, there's broken glass.
A middle school covered in safety concerns.
We're within 100 feet to Whitman Middle School, and this is what the middle school campus looks like.
Tonight, parents want answers from the Seattle Public Schools.
These spaces can mean the world of difference to them.
New school funding for military families, how it's going to change how students learn in Oak Harbor.
4 people are recovering after a shooting spree on I-5 that spanned 2 counties. Another 3 have come forward saying they found bullet holes in their cars. The suspect was arrested and is behind bars tonight. Thank you for choosing King 5. I'm Jessica Janner Castro.
I'm Steve Solis. That first shooting happened last night at about 8:30 in Federal Way. The next 4 reported shootings all happened within less than 3 hours. King 5, Sebastian Robertson joins us live in Seattle with the new details we're learning today about the suspect. Sebastian.
Steve and Jessica, WSP not mincing any words. They call this a mass shooting. They say that it is a shooting spree that went from Fife to Seattle, traversed Interstate 5 here at the interchange where I-5 and I-90 meet. They say a woman was shot, taken to the hospital, treated for a leg injury, and released. By the time it was over, multiple people were wounded. A suspect was arrested, and tonight one person remains in the ICU.
8:30 p.m. Labor Day. Reports of a shooting near 320th Street in Federal Way. One person is injured. 15 minutes later, a second shooting near the MLK exit along Interstate 5. At 8:50, near the I-90 and I-5 interchange, a woman is seriously injured in what's now the third shooting. Investigators narrowing their search to a white Volvo with California plates. 10:57, I-5 near State Route 18. 3 separate shootings reported within minutes of each other.
The job of a police officer today is difficult. It's always been difficult. But the prevalence of random violence like we saw last night on our freeway system and in society in general should be alarming to everybody.
Late this afternoon, we learned there was a 7th victim, a person driving from Seattle to Portland. When they got to Portland, realized there was a bullet hole in their vehicle around the same time period. Washington State Patrol still investigating to see if that is connected. As for the suspected shooter, police not releasing any information about if there is a suspected motive. That person arrested around midnight last night, coming up at 5 and 6:30. We show you the body camera video from the moment that suspect is taken into custody. In Seattle, Sebastian Robertson, King 5 News.
Sebastian, thank you. We have reported on multiple drive-by or road rage shootings on I-5 so far this year. Here are just a few. In July, a driver told Washington State Patrol they were on Columbia, about to get on to northbound I-5 in Seattle when their car was shot at several times.
Yeah, and Steve, in June, an SUV was shot at on I-5 in Everett. Troopers say a road rage led to this shooting just north of the 41st Street off-ramp. Investigators shut down all of the lanes there in the area to collect evidence.
Even dating all the way back to February, a man was shot inside of his car while driving southbound on I-5 near I-405. At this time, troopers said a man in this Ford Mustang was hit multiple times by someone shooting from another vehicle. Our King 5 investigators dug into the numbers and found that gun incidents on Washington highways and freeways are rising. 911 data shows 577 calls from citizens in King County last year between February of 2023 to February of 2024, reporting a roadway crime that involved a gun. Our Chris Ingalls is tracking these numbers tonight. Stay tuned to King 5 News on Thursday for his next report, why arrests are down despite the rise in cases.
New at 4, detectives in Renton are asking for your help finding whoever shot and killed a 20-year-old in a drive-by shooting. Detectives are asking for any surveillance video or information within the area you see here on the map marked in the red lines. They're asking for information anytime between Sunday night at 11 p.m. to 3 a.m. Monday morning if you saw anything. Police say the shooting happened just after 2 a.m. Monday along Shelton Avenue Northeast. Police say the victim was a passenger in a car when she was shot. 2 people are on the run after police say they used a front loader to try and steal an ATM. This is new surveillance video from the scene. It happened just after 4 this morning near the bookstore at Seattle Pacific University. Police say the suspects drove off after not being able to take the ATM, one in a truck, another in the front loader. Police then spotted them, tried to arrest them, but the suspect in the front loader was able to jump into the bed of the truck and both got away. We want to show you this video. It's the aftermath. Police say the front loader was still moving when the suspect jumped off it and then it rammed into the back of a police cruiser. Luckily, no one was hurt.
Prosecutors have charged a second contractor following the death of a student from the Evergreen State College.
Investigators blame the contractors for causing a deadly carbon monoxide leak. Olympia Bureau Chief Drew Mickelson was in court as the contractor faced a judge this morning. Drew.
Well, Jessica and Steve, investigators say the levels of carbon monoxide in this dorm here at the Evergreen State College were more than 20 times what's considered the acceptable limit. And for prosecutors, that was just criminal. Brett McCutcheon entered a not guilty plea this morning to 1 count of manslaughter in the 2nd degree. Last month, his father, Frank McCutcheon, was charged with the same crime. The two installed a tankless water heater at one of the modular housing units on campus, and a week later, student Jonathan Rodriguez died of carbon monoxide poisoning. 2 other students and a campus police officer were sent to the hospital, but survived. According to prosecutors, a carbon monoxide expert determined the water heater's exhaust pipes were not properly installed, quote, non-compliant with the manual, and outside the accepted practice. An investigator also noted their actions were a gross deviation from what reasonable people would do. Now, before those students passed out that evening, the carbon monoxide alarms inside this unit had been going off since early in the morning. They kept calling campus maintenance staff who kept coming out and resetting the alarms. Now, campus policy requires police and fire to get a call whenever one of those alarms go off. Those staffers were investigated, interviewed, and are part of an ongoing investigation, but they have not been charged as of yet. Live in Olympia, Drew Mickelson, King 5 News.
The man accused of driving a boat over a kayak with a father and son inside just pleaded not guilty. This happened last month in Thurston County. Fortunately, Philip Hill and his son were not hurt, but they had to jump into the water to avoid getting hit. They say they tried to get the driver's attention when they saw that boat speeding toward them. Prosecutors say David Seymour left the scene, knowing he ran over their kayak. He is now charged with reckless boating and is due back in court next week.
New video shows the chaos unfolding inside Alderwood Mall as a 13-year-old girl was randomly shot and killed. It happened in early July after a group of teenage boys got into a fight. A 16-year-old is charged in the girl's death. King 5's Joyce Taylor walks us through what happened.
Less than 10 seconds. That's how long it took from the start of a fight at Alderwood Mall to when a 13-year-old girl was shot. New mall security video obtained by King 5 shows how it all unfolded. In the video, blurred by Linwood police, you can see a group of teenage boys on the right side of the screen. On the left side, you see 13-year-old Jada Woods Johnson walking with her friend the opposite direction. At one point, you see one of the boys hit another teen, who police say is 16-year-old Samuel Giza. The group of boys is then seen running away from him after police say he pulled a gun to allegedly shoot at the boy who punched him. Jada was shot instead. 5 seconds later, she is seen slowly dropping to the ground. New police body cam video shows officers arrived within minutes. First responders performed CPR and other life-saving measures, but could not save her. The 16-year-old suspect left the scene, but turned himself in the night of the shooting. I'm Joyce Taylor, King 5 News.
The suspect, 16-year-old Samuel Giza, has been charged as an adult. He has pleaded not guilty to murder charges. His bail is set at $2 million. He is expected back in court tomorrow.
this is what the middle school campus looks like, and kids are arriving tomorrow morning.
Seattle Public School students return to the classroom tomorrow, but parents in the Ballard neighborhood are concerned. One of the middle schools there has been a target for drug use, break-ins, and arson. King 5's Bridget Chavez joins us tonight from Whitman's campus with those details. Bridget.
Yeah, I'm at Whitman Middle School here in Ballard, and parents say that these portables are the root of the problem. There's broken glass, empty beer cans, even needles on the ground. A Whitman Middle School parent showed us this area and just how close this is to the school. It's also right next to Soundview playing fields. Parents say it's not just a concern for students during the school day, but for those who use the field after school and on weekends. Seattle Public Schools said they planned to demolish the buildings over the summer, but that clearly did not happen. The mother we spoke with asked not to be identified.
There's zero reason for these to be here at this point. All it seems is like a risk and a liability. So maybe it's time to do what you said you were going to do and get these off the property.
And we did ask SPS to see inside of these portables, but we were told by them that they could not accommodate our request. And SPD says that in the last couple of days, they have responded to some calls here, but when officers have arrived, they haven't found anybody in the area. Reporting live in Seattle, Bridget Chavez, King 5 News.
Bridget, thank you. This school year, students at Seattle Public Schools will see increased safety measures.
Seattle Public Schools and the city are putting almost $15 million toward security and mental health resources on campuses. There will be more security officers and police presence around school perimeters, along with 15 new safety and security specialists. The funding will also add 42 mental health counselors and care coordinator positions.
Within the last 30 minutes, Yelm Community Schools and the Teachers Union ratified a new collective bargaining agreement. So that means classes will begin tomorrow. Last night, the school district and teachers union came to a tentative agreement avoiding a strike. This agreement passed this afternoon with almost 85% approval.
Ultimately, I'm proud of the way we worked together to come up with a contract that I think is good for everyone, especially our kids.
Get involved with your school district. Go to school board meetings, ask questions, show support to your teachers and your educators and the staff that work in the school districts that are literally just trying to take care of students.
Teachers were able to secure salary increases and reduced workloads under the new agreement, along with protected daily planning time.
Still ahead on King 5, the Seattle Public Library is finally back open and online tonight.
We are hearing from the library for the first time since the cybersecurity ransom attack over Memorial Day.
Outdated school buildings are failing the students of military families across our country, but soon that won't be the case here. We'll tell you about it coming up next.
And temperatures are warming up, especially for later on in the week. Today was much nicer than yesterday, and it just continues to get better as the week goes on. Those details in just a few minutes.